The absolute value function is an example of a piecewise function. A piecewise function is a function that has different rules for different parts of its domain. For example, when x is greater than or equal to 0, the absolute value of x just equals x. When x is less than 0, the absolute value of x equals negative x. Another example of a piecewise function is a step function. A step function is a function that pairs every number in an interval with a single value. The graph of a step function can look like the steps of a staircase. So here we see a step function graphed. Each piece of the graph is a horizontal segment that's missing its right endpoint, indicated by an open circle. Problem 4, graphing a step function. This one's with regards to transportation. A school will charter buses so that the student body can attend a football game. Each bus holds a maximum of 60 students. Make a graph that models the relationship between the number of students x that go to the game by bus and the number of buses y that are needed. You'll need 0 buses for 0 students. As the number of students increases, the number of buses goes up by 1 every time the number of students exceeds a multiple of 60. We'll draw a closed circle when the endpoints are part of the graph, and then draw an open circle when they're not. So consider this graph. We have the number of students x on the horizontal axis, number of buses y on the vertical axis. First we have the point 0, 0 plotted, because like discussed above, when there are 0 students, 0 buses are required. Then moving straight up from that, at y equals 1 on the y-axis, we have an open circle and a line segment extending to the right. Thinking about what that means, if there's 1 student, we need 1 bus. If there are 2 students, we still need 1 bus. If there are, let's say, 35 students, 1 bus. And when there are 60 students, 1 bus will still manage, so we have a solid dot there. If there are 61 students, we now need 2 buses. So that explains the step up to 2 on the y-axis. Now similarly, the open circle on the left of the step at 2 on the y-axis means that we don't need 2 buses when there are exactly 60 students. As soon as we move to the right, just a little bit on the graph, that would represent 61 students, and then we need 2 buses. That's how a step function works. Your turn. Make a graph that models the relationship between the number of students x that go to the game by bus and the number of buses y that are needed if each bus holds a maximum of 50 students.